Thanks for joining us once again. We are coming to you live from our studios here in Kigali, Rwanda. Now, top of our edition. Based on the international standards used by the International Monetary Fund and those used by the World Bank to determine whether a country is burdened with loans it has taken from foreign countries, the governor of the National Bank of Rwanda, John Rwangombwa, points out that Rwanda has the ability to pay its loans from foreign countries due to the fact that it plans to accomplish this by 2050. Olive Ntete kicks us off.
Economic experts point out that external loans Rwanda takes are often invested in building infrastructures that facilitates the private sector to invest in the country. The economic expert Straton Habyarimana says that the good policy of money management and transparency is what makes the country more reliable in receiving loans due to the fact that it is invested in reliable activities that benefit the private sector.
We have been hearing people complaining about access to electricity sometimes some years ago, but now it's a history because the government has invested in electricity, expanding on grid electricity, and that also helps the investors, the people who want to, for example, to put in place to establish industries. They need that electricity. So it benefits to the private sector, but also to everyone, even the individuals. And one example we were talking about is long time ago when the government made the decision to focus on services, promoting services, off-farm activities, etc. People were saying it's not possible. But now you see when infrastructure like the convention center was built, now we receive several meetings, and when such meetings are taking place, even the small farmer benefits because he can find a market for his or her tomatoes or eggs, because there are visitors who guests who need to be fed, and that helps also the rural farmers to access a market which would not be there if such an infrastructure was not created.
The National Bank of Rwanda has recently increased the interest rate at which it gives loans to commercial banks. It was raised up to 6% from 5% in order to reduce the rate of increase in prices, which is currently at 12.1%. But the National Bank of Rwanda reassures that next year the prices will decrease. An expert in the financial sector, Valence Rutesha, notes that the credibility of foreign loans is also based on the country's monetary management policy and the way the economy is maintained.
For example, the stability of the banking system, whether its banking system is strong, safe and sound, and also that all those other factors that affect the economic stability and development of a given country. So much so that when a country gets that debt, or credit or loan, there are indicators, for example, of doing business that will enable the country to pay that loan facility. So that is in terms of how many activities are in the country that would help the country to get, for example, exports that will increase on the domestic product, as well as the country's stability in terms of economy and how the economy is growing. For example, how the country curbs issues of inflation. That would also affect the value of its currency. So all that would be considered, in my opinion, whenever a country is going or a government is going to get is applying or wants to get a facility from any financial institution.
According to the financial experts, comparing the value of external loans that Rwanda has to the gross domestic product of the country, and also considering its value today, it appears that in the last year of 2021, the country was at 34.6%, but it should not exceed 55% to avoid being burdened by the external loans. Based on the international standards used by the International Monetary Fund and those used by the World Bank to determine whether a country is burdened by external loans taken, the governor of the Central Bank of Rwanda, John Rwangombwa, explains more about these loans.
This year, it will be at 7.7%. It will increase from 7.7% to 8.7%. Next year, because we still have to pay that remaining amount on Eurobond. And in 2024, it will be at 8%. The rate at which we should not exceed to avoid being burdened by loans is 21%, and we still far from reaching that rate. Another thing is the money we receive from taxes. Comparing it to the loans that we have to pay, it should not exceed 23%. But evaluating these previous years, like in 2020, we were at 5%. This year we'll be at 9.5%, and we will reach 11% in 2024. We won't reach 23%. What I can say is that we are not worried about being burdened by loans that we pay because the loans that the government has are called conception. Above the 80% of those loans are loans that can be paid during a long period of time, like 30 to 40 years. And the interest is at 0.some few points, and that facilitates in paying those loans without burdening the country.
The National Institute of Statistics of Rwanda, in its Rwanda Vital Statistics Report of 2021, released in July 2022, it reveals that Rwanda's gross domestic product has increased from $752 million in 1994 to $10.7 billion in 2021. Olive Nete, RTV News.
Thank you, Olive, for that reassuring report. You're still watching RTV News. Moving on, the National Institute of Statistics of Rwanda is calling upon the general public to properly prepare for the 5th population and housing census and have the information enumerators will need as the day of commencement approaches. John Gakuba reports.
The Rwanda National Statistics has today confirmed to have fully completed the preliminary exercise of registering houses by 107%, the exercise which started from 10th to 14th this month. Speaking to RBA, the director in charge of census at the National Institute of Statistics, Mr. Vena Habarugira, appealed to Rwandans to take note to the key information about their families and family members, their whereabouts, among others, in order to have full information required to fulfill the statistical data.
We recommend the heads of household to recall to write the member of households of the census night. The 3 categories of people. One is the usual resident who spent the night in the household, but also usual resident who will spend the night outside the household because of many reasons. Some may be in the hospital, others in the visits. So we recall all of the household heads to write down the member of households who will be enumerated between the 16th and the 30th, and some kind of information of all of those people. So that the enumerator will come in between 16th and the 30th to enumerate people taking reference to the census night.
One of the census clerk, Madam Uringaniye Beata, said that preliminary exercise has been smooth and successful.
The people have been briefed about the upcoming exercise and they look more curious and are well prepared. What we intend to ask the people is still a secret. We will do this individually. I cannot tell you.
Muragwa Bugabo Hamza is a resident of Nyakabanda sector who promises to provide full support to ensure the exercise is successful.
It's
a good one for the government, and we are prepared to join hand and assist towards a successful exercise to census clerks. We are ready to provide them with clear information. What we need is to have another campaign that raises awareness to the people at the village level, so that even those who won't be available or those who do not know well about the importance of this exercise get skilled. According to the director in charge of census, the National Institute of Rwanda is working closely to enumerate diplomats and Rwandans in official missions abroad, but also diaspora, which is connected to the country. The motto of these censuses say that be counted because you count. The fifth national census aims to provide the government the real image and estimate number of the population density for the purpose of proper planning the national development. National development involves issues related to infrastructure like roads, hospitals, energy, water supply, etc. Rwandan population density as per previous statistics of 2012 was estimated to more than 12 million, whereas the population today is estimated to be nearby 12 million. John Gakuba, Kigali.
Thank you, John. Now, residents from different parts of the southern province have expressed gratitude for the contribution of the Anglican Diocese of Shogwe to the community. They shared their sentiments at a time when the diocese is celebrating its 30th anniversary and 20 years under the leadership of Bishop Dr. Gerald Kalimba. More in this report. In Tambwesel of Ruhango sector, residents are enjoying the pineapple harvest and are thriving thanks to pineapple farming. Developmental activities that they say increased after the support of the Diocese of Shogwe and working together as a cooperative.
Diocese ya Shogwe yaradufashije kuko yagiye duha.
The Shogwe Diocese helped us because it gave us people to support us. They gave us guidance in pineapple farming, gave me a calf and a house for it. I now have a house. It has a roof and it is cemented. And everything I have has been through the cooperative.
Kandi ibyo bikorwa byose nakoze nabikuye hano muri iyi koperative.
Ubwambere buri wese yagiye abona inyana y'ibihumbi 20.
At first, everyone received a calf worth 120,000 Rwandan francs. Next to every home, 80,000 to have them taking care of their home. And recently, 250,000.
Those in the category which was recently trained in fruit processing say that the knowledge they have received in 6 months will help them to create jobs and improve their livelihoods.
Whenever there is an opportunity, they call me to offer my service as one of the trainees, and I am able to get business. Even outside of the diocese, I am called to offer my services using the knowledge I got from this place.
In the 6 months, I have learned how to make different types of juice, like a mixture of ginger and pineapple, tree tomato, carrot, and beetroot. In celebration of the 30th anniversary of the formation of the Anglican Church Diocese of Shogwe, believers are also looking forward to a brighter future.
We work together with the government to support the vision of the nation in different sectors, including improving livelihood of people, focusing on well-being of Rwandan Christians, their health, nutrition, parenting and family. We support in many ways.
The Anglican Diocese of Shogwe operates in 4 parts of the southern province. Kaitesi Alice, the governor of the southern province, says that in addition to many activities that support the economy, the main contribution of the church is in the programs that preserve the integrity of the community. Those programs are in the church and outside in the community because we are focusing on the well-being of the people. They are Rwandan in the community and are Christian in the church. We feel there's need to continue educating and changing so that our homes are thriving, because when households are thriving, they are keen on supporting government initiatives. The vision of the Diocese of Shogwe for the next 30 years is to improve evangelism, education, health, and the economy. According to its bishop, Dr. Gerald Kalimba, everything starts with a healthy family. The Anglican Church Diocese of Shogwe started with 13 parishes during the past 30 years, and now there are 38 parishes in Kamonyi, Muhanga, Ruhango, and Nyanza. Students who studied special needs education courses say when the time came to join the labor market, they found that the positions they need are few because such courses are not taught in ordinary schools, leaving many of them without jobs. Now, according to the Ministry of Education, every school should have at least one teacher who trained to care for special needs children. But this is not the case because of limited financial resources. Nuriat Agasaro now reports.
Those who have studied special needs education says that what they have learned is necessary, but their courses are not even taught in irregular schools, which makes those who are assigned to study those courses without mixing them reach on the market and find what they have learned is not needed in the market. We did the job test and we passed almost 90% of us, but we did the jobless test. We are all on the waiting list and no one called us. We are here wondering why there is no job for us. And we did the test, plus they showed us that there are positions.
In fact, we did the test. There were those who passed and others went to the waiting list. But among those who did the test, not even 10% who got places.
Those students say that they are not allowed to sit for teaching exams in ordinary schools since they only acquired qualification in special education, while those who studied behind them were given the opportunity in a way that they would have found elsewhere.
There is news that I had that those who are behind us are lucky because they get a chance to study special needs education and add entrepreneurship so that they have the opportunity to apply through the entrepreneur and have additional education, while us, we only have special needs.
Urabona hari ukuntu twebwe option yacu nge nize special needs education.
We need them to set up short courses or training so that the fact that we only studied special needs will be removed. We also need that in other departments like those who add general papers and include special needs lesson. We help those who study special needs also to get a chance. The Director General of Education Policy and Analysis at the Ministry of Education, Rose Baguma, says that every institution should have at least one teacher who has a basic education, but the problem is the limited financial resources.
We need the support so they can think about us and find out how we can find jobs, or if there is any other training we can be given so that we can benefit from what we have learned and get places for ourselves.
In short, every school should have a person who have studied special needs education. But because of their abilities, when it comes to recruiting staff, they don't get a chance compared to teachers of other subjects. The Ministry of Education will also gradually increase the number of those who are given jobs in schools due to the fact of the budget will be available. The Director General also said that those who have completed education can find work in non-governmental institutions, and the Ministry of Education uses them to train other teachers and they get paid for it. Nuriat Agasaro, RTV News.
Thank you, Nuriat. Now, residents across Kigali City are requesting to be facilitated in obtaining building permits because they say they're being charged a lot of money. Adam Kwizera with this report.
As the city of Kigali is developing day to day, the same as their commercial and residence buildings, even modern roads that are being constructed, residents of the area that are being inhabited and those who want to build says that they face challenges in getting building permits because of the high fees they are charged and the delay in obtaining them when they complete their requirements. You find when they come to draw, the money that was supposed to be used in construction are spent in drawing. Later, it requires you to collect all documents in order to speed up the construction activities. As you see, we are reaching in rainy season. You submit the request to get the permits, then it delay, as it also results to disorder. There sometimes you first bargain with the engineer, then he charges you 200 or 300,000 Rwandan francs. So there will be some days they tell you it has postponed to next week. Then it reaches to 2 months. The challenge is that there is no stable fees, and the way it delays to 2 months. The city of Kigali says that they ease the process of getting building permits, depending to the kind of the buildings the resident is going to build, and even the size of the land to be built on. Sometimes there are undeveloped sites that the city council would approve the money for developing those sites. The vice mayor of the city of Kigali, Mabwana Mugurumelal, notes that there are entrepreneurs who pretend to be engineers, aiming to cheat people.
Hanze ahangaha dufite aba engineers bamwe na bamwe cyangwa se abita aba engineers.
We have engineers, or some who pretend to be, who are working in an unprofessional way. Like for example in Gasabo, the person called Robert agreed with someone to draft for him a budget and also request for him the building permit. Then you find in our system that the person called Robert is not the one who sent the draft, as this is stated as one of the challenge. We urge the citizens to have information and to know the right person to hire. On the issue of delays of these building permits, Vice Mayor Mabwana Mugurumelal points that there are some reasons behind.
The
residents request the building permit for building on the land preserved for industries, or permit for building residential house on industrial preserved area. There when he gets replied in the system that he might wait for that place to get innovated, then the citizen understands that it's poor service delivered. The city of Kigali says that the building permits have to be available in 21 days. For the new single-storied residential building, available in 15 days. Renovation that change or not change the building are available in 10 days, while the permission of demolishing the building is available in 3 days. For changing the plan of the building is available in 10 days. Building a fence is 10 days. Renewing the expired permit is 10 days. Then the request of all these services are between 0 francs to 60,000 Rwandan francs only, depending on the service. Even the contractors or the engineers association are eligible to negotiate with the residents on the cost of designing the building. Adam Squizera, RTV News.
That's my time with you. Thank you so much for choosing RTV and choosing RTV News. Now, on behalf of the entire broadcast team here at RBA, thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.